In the real world, nothing can be done without some sort of control, some kind of authority or a bit of influence over others. To be able to act and produce an effect as a man and to engage in meaningful pursuits in your life, you need some sort of power to change things. But ask yourself, friend, on your pursuit to gain the power necessary for those changes to happen, will you be able to resist the lure that comes with it? Will you be strong enough to resist falling in love with power? Will you be capable to handle your pride and remain grounded, exercising power with care and direction? Try to remember, friend, the conversations you probably had with the ones close to you about powerful and influential people and how power seems to be labeled as an intoxicating quality that can often prove to be devastating and even fatal. Observe how corrupt leaders abuse their power and think of themselves above the law by assuming that their position affords them some sort of pass when it comes to deceitful and unethical behavior. While having these remarks on power, also remember that without power nothing would get done. Police would not be taken seriously if they did not have the power to arrest. You could be easily robbed if you do not have the power to defend yourself. Businesses could not accomplish much if they did not have the power to hire and fire people. Power can be used to better the lives of our loved ones and society as a whole if harnessed properly. Be the kind of man, friend, that pays attention to avoid power's potential to corrupt your soul, to blind you to unethical decisions and to bring you to your downfall. Do not be fooled by your initial naivety when it comes to power. How many times have you heard someone passionately proclaim, "If I were in charge, things would be different," while strongly believing in his mind that if he was actually in charge, somehow the stars would align, all wars and conflicts would cease, and everybody would hold hands and sing. And how many of those times the same person goes to great lengths, often sacrificing his dignity and integrity in the process to obtain the power that he desperately wants. And when he finally gets a bit of it, he clings to it tightly because he has given up so much of himself to get it, that a small speck of influence that he has becomes his only identity, not realizing that holding on to power is like trying to secure a handful of sand. The tighter you squeeze, the less you will have. Keep in mind, friend, that one day you will be given some power over someone or something. It may not be the power over an entire nation. It may not be the power over an organization, but it will be power nonetheless. At that point, how you will use power will have a great effect not only on those under your authority, but on your life as well. To avoid becoming absorbed by the lust of power, here are a few ways to use power properly and keep yourself grounded. When you are the man on top, people are going to tell you how great you are, how awesome your achievements are, and how much they envy you. More often than not, these statements are insincere, but it is easy to start believing them because you naturally want to believe good things about yourself. Accept the compliments as they come, friend, but do not fool yourself by eating up these praises, because you will quickly lose your ability to honestly and accurately assess how you are really doing. By listening to what everyone is telling you, you will end up thinking that you have no faults and can do no wrong, and sooner or later you will fail miserably. Do your best to have at least one person close to you who will honestly and without filters tell you what's what and keep you accountable for your actions and your actions alone. Ask yourself, friend, is your effort for power and success driven by the personal standards that you have set for yourself, by values and service to others? Or is it fueled by your desire to have a greater position and more power than the next guy? Is your pride in control of your actions? If you are guided by your pride, you will see your fellow men as competitors, and you will be driven by the principle that if you do not take advantage of an opportunity, no matter how unethical, someone else will. Your actions will have only one purpose: your need to stay on top. Keep in mind, friend, that pride will inflate your ego and will cloud your judgment, making you justify actions that you would have previously found immoral. Focus on meeting and exceeding your personal standards and goals instead of concentrating on how you stack up to others. Your quest for power should not be about them, but about becoming the best man that you can be and serving a goal that benefits you and others. Once you will reach the pinnacle of your domain, you will not rub elbows with a regular man anymore, and it will become very easy to be out of touch with normal perspectives and concerns. Becoming great at something involves some sort of isolation and removal from the regular world, but remember that your power and influence will have effects and consequences on the ones around you as well. Even though you may no longer run in the same circles, deal with the same problems or get the same compensation as the ones you lead, your choices and decisions will still have to serve their best interests as well. Make it a priority to spend time with the people you serve, to understand the problems they are facing so that the power they have entrusted in you will serve everyone's interests. Do not allow power to corrupt you by using it to serve yourself, and understand that in order to become a great leader, you have to be a great servant. Serving those that have given you their trust is the best way to keep the right perspective about power. This may not be the standard lesson that the world seems to teach you about power these days, but serving others will guard your soul against the corruption of power by placing your efforts on helping and supporting others rather than yourself. Never forget, friend, that the position of power that you might have is dependent on others giving you that power. Do not become the fool that tries to keep at any cost all of the power, authority, and resources for himself. Do not allow yourself to fall into the trap of thinking that if you give anything up, you will soon find yourself knocked off your so-called throne. Empower everyone around you, share your resources and knowledge, and bring the best out of each person you have contact with. Show those you lead how to accomplish their goals and share your power with them. Respect, admiration, and loyalty can only be gained if you have others' best interests in mind. Remember, friend, that the quickest way to gain power is to actually give it away. When entrusted with roles of leadership, power, and influence, will you become absorbed by the lure of this privilege, acting selfishly and disregarding everyone else? Or will you be the man who remains grounded in his values, the man who uses the power entrusted in him to bring the best out of everyone else? When the taste of power will touch your soul, will you become a tyrant or a servant? The choice you make will impact not only you,